Every town and city, you walk down the high street and it's a vape shop, it's an off license, it's a bookies, gambling place. I mean, they're just centres of addiction, aren't they, really? Just looking at any high street and you see it repeated: off license, vape shop, bookies. Greetings and welcome to the beautiful little seaside town of Worthing. Come and join me as I drive back along the south coast towards Brighton. And it's quite apt that I'm in Worthing today because that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about small seaside towns. Recently I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there now that are doing videos like Death of the UK High Street, and where guys will go and investigate what's going on in small little seaside coastal towns in UK that have been neglected, that are run down. And yeah, I've been finding these videos really interesting. I don't know whether you guys have watched any, and it's sad. It's a real sad state of affairs to see these small seaside towns turn into what they are now. Think of ones like Clacton, Jaywick are the most obvious ones, and Weston-super-Mare. Here in Worthing, this is a small seaside town, but it's still relatively prosperous, Worthing. I guess because it's close proximity to Brighton, there's still a lot of prospects and opportunities for young people here with jobs. Still relatively close to London. You can get a train to London in an hour. It seems to be doing okay, Worthing, but a lot of these towns, the ones that I just mentioned, Jaywick, Clacton, Weston-super-Mare, are so depressing. And it's so sad because the state of life for people that are living in these towns is so dire. There's no prospects for kids.
High Street's like a war zone.
It's just a walking dead.
What's it like for job opportunities here for you boys?
Can't get an apprenticeship.
Can't get an apprenticeship?
Yeah? I have to work Mackies at my own.
Really?
There's just nothing going on. All the industry has been taken out of these towns, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about how you actually solve these problems. You know, the reason some of these towns are the way they are is a multitude of different reasons, really, but I guess it mainly starts with the package holiday later in the 90s, the early 2000s, the start of real cheap airfares, and you know, no one's really holidaying in these seaside towns. You know, they're going to Spain, they're going to Greece, they're going to Turkey. They're not coming to these towns, and that's what these towns relied on, the tourism. And that's why you see derelict hotels and derelict arcades and derelict shops, and just a real depressing nature around these seaside towns. And then of course that mixed in with a Tory government that came in 2010 with austerity, and we've just had over a decade now of this country just not wanting to invest a single penny on anything. You know, you remember David Cameron back in the day, you know, we got to balance the books, we got to cut public spending, we can't spend any money, we've got to cut this, we can't possibly spend, we've got to skimp and save. We've had over a decade of this, not investing in anything at all. And, you know, that is what it boils down to. Go on, mate, go on, you want to go? Go. That is what it boils down to. These towns just need investment, don't they? They need serious investment. Otherwise, they're going to drip into further decay. And the other point is, what do you actually invest in? Because can you carry on the tourism model? Can you still encourage British people to go to seaside towns, or do you have to completely start from scratch with a new model? Because something has to be done about these towns, because they really are depressing. And you know, like I say, the prospects for the kids that live in these towns. And you know, we've got it right here in Worthing. This beautiful Victorian hotel here, Chatsworth it's called, isn't it? You know, it's still thriving. It's still, people must still be going because it's still maintained. It's a huge building. Worthing have got it right. Brighton, another seaside town that is prosperous. So there must be ways of trying to bring prosperity to these small towns. Now, I guess Brighton is quite unique where I live. It has the Sussex University, so it has a large student population, young people that want bars, restaurants, clubs, live music, all fun things. And I guess Brighton has the attraction of being 45 minutes on the train from London in the summertime. Everyone comes down. But what can you do for these towns like Clacton and Jaywick and Weston-super-Mare, these old towns. What sort of, it's all well and good saying that we need to invest in them, but what do you actually invest in? Can you encourage people in the tourism world in this country to actually go to these places? Now, there is a large population that still enjoy holidaying in this country. I'm one of them. Caravan parks are still a massive thing in this country, and they're still half terms, kids' holidays. It's still hard to the prices go up, and it's still hard to get a caravan, and they're great fun. I go with my sister, my brother-in-law, the kids and stuff, and they're very unique because they're one of those places that you can go and the kids have got plenty of stuff to do. There's loads of entertainment for the kids, but it's one of those unique places where you can have a pub with an arcade attached to it and kids entertainment. So the kids are entertained, the grown-ups can have a couple of beers. It's very unique in that sense. Can you build facilities like this in these coastal towns that will bring people to go and visit? I mean, imagine if you just had a certain lump sum, millions of pounds to try and invest in Jaywick. If you could build fantastic entertainment, sports, water sports facilities and massive new swimming pool and up-to-date arcades and really good facilities for people to come and stay and visit in the summer holidays. Could you transform that town with enough investment? And I don't know, it's a hard challenge, isn't it? I don't know whether you guys have got any ideas, put them down in the comments below, but it's not just seaside towns that a lot of people, a lot of these YouTube channels are investigating. It's just the British high street in general, which you see in every town and city. Even in Brighton, has got boarded up shops, boarded up buildings in general. How do you solve that? Because that stems from just retail in general. I've worked retail for a long time in life, and we know that over the last 10-20 years retail has just slowly been going online, hyped up by the pandemic, I think, and Amazon. You're not going to be able to replace those places. Are you going to convince a generation that are used to just clicking on Amazon when they need something, or clicking on Deliveroo to order their food? Are you going to be able to convince people to go to local businesses? I think we have to admit that the high street shop is kind of dead and it's not coming back, and we need to re-envision what the high street is, what we can do with the high street, because they are sad, depressing places now. I mean, if you actually look at what the high street has been replaced with now, every town and city, you walk down the high street and it's a vape shop, it's an off license, it's a bookies, gambling place. I mean, they're just centres of addiction, aren't they, really? Just look in any high street and you see it repeated. Off-licence, vape shop, bookies, off-licence, vape shop, Weatherspoons, where you can get a pint for £2.
So as the fella said there, everything is closed, bar the Weatherspoons, the local cash generators or sort of pawn shop.
They're just centres of addiction. And for these smaller towns where you've got no prospects, there's no job opportunities, young people going to the high street, they're vaping, just go spend your money on a vape and just suck on that at home, get some nicotine kicks, get some alcohol, put a bet on. There's more to life than that, and these people deserve more than that. The people that live in these towns and cities deserve opportunities. It's sad, it really is sad, the state of the high street. But what can you do to the high street? It just needs to change completely. We can't, like I say, the model of the shop, I think, although it's sad, you think of local businesses, local shops, but I guess there's no reason why you can't have local businesses and local shops that are just selling online. I mean, that's effectively what I'd done if I was doing my business 30 years ago. I'd have a physical shop where I sell my second-hand furniture, but the majority of it is online now. So what can you do with the high street? Could you envision just bringing in homes instead and community areas? Just imagine like community gardens where you can come in if you haven't got your own garden and grow your own vegetables. And I just envision it's got to be something drastically different. The shop is gone, and I'd love to see But it comes around to our good friend investment again, doesn't it? Investment. It all comes back to investment. Now, if you're a government that's actually serious, I mean, of course, we haven't got a government that's serious, have we? But if you're a government that's serious about improving this country, why would you not want to invest in tourism? Why do you want all our hard-earned money every single year being spent in Greece, in Turkey, in Spain? Wouldn't you rather have that money spent in the UK and try and invest in some of these seaside towns? And I think there's opportunity there. You know, you think about some of the beautiful Victorian buildings that are in some of these seaside towns, like Scarborough, that have these grand hotels that have just been left and become decrepit and sad. Imagine if you could restore them back to their original beauty. You know, imagine if you could have the same sort of like shows and cabaret and stuff that you'd have in that era. I think that would attract a lot of people. I think that would really, I think a lot of people would want to experience that if you could bring these places back to their heyday. But investment, always about investment and thinking proactively. That's the word I was looking for. It just never seems to happen with endless governments in this country. We never seem to be proactive in our policy. I mean, yes, we've had our struggles, we've had financial crises, and we've had COVID and everything, but how do you get out of those? Just by spending another 10-20 years of skimping and saving and not spending a single penny and not investing in councils. You know, that's another reason why so many of these areas have just gone into complete disrepair, because council funding has been stripped. Just scrimping and saving, not spending. We had a financial crisis, we had COVID, we can't spend. We're going to have another 20 years of that. What are these places going to look like if we have another 20 years of that? We need proactive government that want to actually have a unique vision for actually what the future holds, and actually have some radical ideas of change. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent now, but please give me your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Have you watched some of these videos? Do you find them interesting? How would you solve the crisis in our towns and our high streets as well? I'd love to hear some ideas of what we can do with our high streets. If you enjoyed the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top as well, and there'll be another video. You can check that out. Till next time, take care.